Okay, this is the review of round 4 of the Tri-Valley Chess Tournament. This game I had white. It was actually pretty funny in this game because the guy I was playing against was like, he said, "What opening do you play?" Now, usually with white, I play the Italian because I know it really comfortably, and I'm trying to switch and learn other things, but I'm not comfortable enough yet to do so. And I said, I play e4. And he said, do you play the Italian? And I said, I can play the Italian if you want me to play the Italian, because usually when I play e4, I end up facing a Sicilian or something like that. And he said, well, I play e5. Are you going to play the Italian? I said, well, if you play e5, I can play the Italian for you. That's fine. And he said, well, if you play that, he said, oh no. I said, why? And he said, I'm so scared of the fried liver. I said, why are you afraid of the fried liver? It's not that hard to stop. And he said, I'm terrified of the fried liver. If you play the Italian, I'm going to play h6. And I just thought, like, you know what? That's such a bad move. Like, I don't care. I'm definitely going to play the Italian now. Thank you. And this is, like, pervasive throughout the game. I didn't have a great position. I missed some stuff, but, like, he was terrified, and he just kept making bad decisions, and he was, like, cracking under pressure. It was very funny. So, anyway, I shouldn't make fun of him because the kid played well. I was losing for a portion of it, but I just, at some point, if you would have come in and seen me playing, watched me playing and watched our facial expressions, you would have felt like I was for sure winning the game. He went e5, I went into the Italian, and he played h6. So I played d4, and then he reinforces with f5, which is just wild. It's just wild. Now, the computer wants me to play h4, knight to h4, sorry. And knight to h4 is a good move, because it opens up for checks, for, you know, I can check here. There's nothing he can really do to block it. And if he tries to go like this, I can just check. Like he's in hot shit if I go e4. Right? There's just really nothing he can do. I didn't really see it, so I just pushed. And he just went super passive. This kid was just very scared. At this point, I just brought out my knight. He locked the center. My castle. He tries to break up my pawn chain, and I pushed my b pawn here. And my thought was I was just going to fianchetto because my knight was kind of trapped, and I wasn't ready to move it anytime soon. He took, and I took back my pawn because I didn't really want to trade off my bishop for his knight. Here he brings this out, and I just like straight hallucinate. I literally think to myself, oh no, he's attacking my rook. And I moved to rook to b1. Just a waste of a move. And a ridiculous move at that. The computer line for like the first 3 moves still wants me to go rook to h4. Which is funny. It also now wants me to start pushing h5. Because it's just a strong move. Now it wants me to go knight to h4 again, because now I'm attacking that bishop. So knight to h4 was just a move that just like did not cross my mind at the time. Again, I moved my rook for no reason. And he comes here and I thought, oh no. My pawn is under attack, but if I move my rook here, it's going to be attacked by the bishop. It's not how bishops move. But again, I was already under the assumption that the bishop was here. So I pushed the pawn because I'm like, okay, well, it's defended. We're okay. Everything's fine. He does this, and I'm not super thrilled about it. And I think, you know what? I'm just going to bring my bishop back, which was a weird move. I got a little confused here, and this is where I start losing it. And now suddenly I realize he's got a lot of pressure on this. And there's not really much I can do. Yo, what's up, Thuyan? Thuyen Lee. Reviewing the worst tournament I ever played, which was this weekend. So I just decided I'm going to defend it this way. He trades, I take back, and I feel like this is fine. It's no big deal. I lose a pawn. It's not good. But I'm going to push the queen out. I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to do if he played queen a4, if I actually wanted to trade queens or not. Double his file, but I didn't really want to lose my queen right now. I was down a pawn, but he didn't. He went back here. Again, just he continues to play really passively. So now I brought my queen here, and my thought was, okay, there's ways he can defend this, right? But ultimately, like if I get a chance, I'd love to get in here and start checking the king and create a really good situation for myself. When he comes here, sorry, I did notice back here that he wanted to create a threat on my queen and rook, which is why I played b4 to sort of make his queen make a decision. And the idea was if he came here, like maybe trading makes sense because then I can like move my rook back and, you know, he no longer has a threat. But I come here and when he confirms that indeed is what he wanted to do. So I do what I wanted to do, which was check the king. He moves, and I just move my rook out of the way. And at this point, I guess he really didn't like my queen in there. So I thought about this position for a minute, and I thought, you know what? Now trading the queens makes a little bit of sense, right? This felt like a fine maneuver because my thought was, if I trade the queens now, he has actually double stacked pawns, which suck. And I can just come here, kick his knight out, and I'm in a fairly good position. It kind of gives me compensation for the lost pawn. Do I want you to analyze this game? No, I'm telling you how I'm analyzing my own game and telling you what I did. I understand that it wasn't perfect. Absolutely. I know the computer wants me to go here because now I'm like threatening this move. And I can always come back out and or take this pawn. But my decision was this in the moment. Obviously, it wasn't the computer's move. He didn't like it, but, you know, it was fine. This kind of solidified the knight, and I went here, and for whatever reason, again, like I said, he was very scared. He moved. I just moved back, and he came here. And now, at this point, he kind of started cracking. I started playing around with my knights, and he made a whole bunch of bad moves. He went here, and what I was thinking was, okay, he's going to want to kick my knight out, so I'm going to play knight to h4. Finally, we're seeing the knight to h4. I went here, and he played it anyway, and I think he thought this was a double threat, but he didn't really think it through because obviously it just wins a pawn for me, which is pretty awesome. He goes here, defending this, but, you know, that doesn't really stop my threats, right? Now I'm attacking his rook. But I'm also forking this pawn, which he can't really save. So he goes there, I come here and attack his rook again. He goes there, which is fine because I think then he realized that, oh, I can still go back there. Suddenly I'm in a winning position here, and I do my best to make the most out of it. I bring my bishop out. My thought was to get my rook into the game. That's what I was thinking. Either rook I wanted to just bring into the game and see how it goes. When he went here, I gave a check. He comes over, and I took another pawn. Basically, I'm just continuously like forking, and with this pawn, I'm also threatening the rook again. So just, again, putting tons of pressure on him, and suddenly I have like a very winning advantage. When he comes here, I come over here. And the idea here was to trade off his bishop if I have the opportunity. I know this wasn't the best move. The computer wants me to play f4 and just lock the knight in, which I totally understand. Makes sense. But I wasn't really thinking that way. When he did this, I was like, okay, hold on a second. I have a discovered check, and I can take his rook, and I'm going to do that. And I'm going to end up losing this knight in the process, but it doesn't matter, because basically winning material, like very significant material at this point. So I make the move, he does f7, and I take the rook. Now, the funny thing was, as an intermezzo that's not really an intermezzo, I went here, and he went, huh? And then he took with his bishop. And I looked at him and I go, you can't do that. And he's like, why not? And I'm like, it's a double check. You can't, like, you're still in check. And he goes, oh shit. And he moves his bishop back and puts my knight back on the board. So then he comes here with his king, and I take his rook. And he takes this, which is fine. I bring this rook into the game because now I'm thinking checkmate. I'm thinking, okay, you know, this is covered. So, you know, going here, he'll just block. That's fine. But if I can start getting multiple rooks into the game, like, he's gonna get mated. He brings us in preemptively, and I just pin it because I'm like, cool, let's go. I'm not sure what that move was supposed to do. Like, I really didn't get it. I imagine that what he was trying to do was to bring his knight into the game, but I wasn't going to give him time for that. I come here, and the idea was that I have this check, this check, and I can force him this way, and I can start, like, I can pin his bishop that way. None of this was, like, the best idea I've ever had, but, like, you know, I knew that, like, at some point this is going to be winning because I was basically just cutting the king off. He went here, which is actually great for me because this is where it leads into mate, more or less. I check here, basically giving him one square, which would be here. And it does keep the game open right now. Like, granted, I have lots of opportunities to win more material. But when he goes here, I'm looking at the board and I'm going, hold on. He can't go here. He can't go here. He's totally trapped. If I can check him and he can't take it, I got mate. And I was playing so badly that I'm literally looking at it and I go, I think this is mate. And he's like, is it? I think he was just trying to, like, play it down, like maybe I missed it. But then I obviously look at it for a second. I'm like, no, this is definitely mate. So yeah, so we ended up pulling a win out of the game, and that felt pretty good. 2-2. It was a terrible tournament. I played terribly, but I didn't lose to either of the players under 1,000. I should have beat both of the players over 1,000. At least been close with the one and beaten the other. But in both cases, I hung a major piece, a rook and a queen, which is just so embarrassing. But the takeaway from this tournament was how much I'm affected by distractions. I was very, very affected by the distractions that were going on. And while playing a tournament with my daughter was super fun and really, like, sweet and something amazing, it was not good for me playing good chess. That being said, I have more chess coming up, more chess tournaments coming up. So there'll be another tournament on this weekend, and then another tournament the following weekend. So, all right, that was my review of the worst chess tournament I've ever played, and yeah, cool.